Looking to make the rest of your life the best part of your life? Every week, the Words for Life podcast has principles and testimonies that will help us become a little better than we were yesterday. This will positively impact your life. Welcome to another Words for Life discussion. I'm your host, Terrence Farrell, aka T. Farrell. This week, our special guest is Michael Gayle. We go way back, met him in church. He's a native of Germany, raised in the U.S. by Caribbean parents. He's a multi-talented musician. Anybody that knows him for any length of time knows that. He plays several instruments, including the sax, double bass, and the Hammond organ. I actually remember back in the day when he played drums a little bit also. He's an arranger, a composer, a producer, an audio engineer. He's also got 2 masters. I think he just got the last one. One in music theory and composition, and the other one in music education. He's currently an instructor at Columbia and an adjunct assistant professor at St. John's University. He owns 2 companies and is a loving husband and father of 4. I just got 1. He's got 4. Now we talk about how obedience puts God's name on the line, going past successful moments, and principles for true success. Now just a heads up, after the discussion is over, we're going to end with a Words for Life track featuring Pastor Randy Skeet entitled Creator Provider, which is available wherever you listen to music. It's also available as a free download on the Be More Today site under Words for Life. And last but not least, please remember to subscribe, like, and share. But without further ado, here's my conversation with Michael Gayle. Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I can't, it's interesting when you hear stuff back at you. You're like, that's really me. Wow. How did that happen? And when did it happen? The time flies.
Yeah. And it doesn't seem like it flies when you're in it.
Yeah.
But when you look back, you realize how much stuff was done.
Yeah.
So now with all of this stuff that you've done, you got 2 masters, and I think you're going for a doctorate now, right?
I'm in the doctoral program right now.
Nice.
An interdisciplinary doctoral with neuroscience and music.
Wow. Nice. So now with all of this stuff, I mean, we've played at numerous places. We was at Carnegie Hall together. I think we was at Lincoln Center together too. Mm-hmm. So with all of that, I wanted to ask, because I've been a person that felt like he was chasing success for a long time. And I wanted to get your perspective on success, or what being successful really is.
So that's an interesting question. It made me think instantly of what I aspire to become and what I aspire to do. And I think for me, it's the things away from music that make me feel successful, because the Carnegie Halls, if it happens once, okay, I've been there, twice. So if it happens twice, it's still like a moment. But the things you deal with every day is your family, right? And your friends. So I think my success, what I would describe as successful, is being loved and respected by my family. Men really, we really have a big thing about respect, and just to know that you're respected and loved by your family, that means the world. My kids do not even, you could say all those things you read, it doesn't even matter to them, but it comes down to character and you being there for them and they being there for you. So I think that everything else comes along with it. Mm-hmm. Like gigs find you. Carnegie Hall finds you. You don't knock on the door and say, I want to play here, right? Like
Right.
These gigs find you. The Madison Square Garden finds you. So I'm grateful for those opportunities, definitely. But I think my success has to be, for me, defined by my home.
Okay. So now let me just tagging along right on that. How come, me included, we never aspire to that? When it's like, oh, I'm looking to get success. In the younger years, it's like I'm looking to get the career, I'm looking to get the money, I'm looking to, establish myself as somebody that's taken seriously in whatever industry it is that you're in.
Wow. Well, I mean, it's like the seek ye first mentality really anchors everything else, and it's like, I remember I've been married 14 years now, going on 15 years. And I made a decision to like not really pursue all the other stuff and work with what's going to work with this season.
Right, 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 right.
Like, I'm going to do things as local because
Mm-hmm.
I have to take my kids to school every day. I
Mm-hmm.
have to be there to do homework. So I think just anchoring myself,
Okay.
I position myself for like God to like, Samuel knew where to find David because David was where he was supposed to be with the sheep. You know what I mean?
Right,
And
right, right, right.
if you just stay where you're supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
God knows where to find you. He can send, it's just going to come. Oftentimes you chase something and that's what you do. You're going to get tired. And I
Yeah.
was fortunate, not even to mention, like, I'm sitting in the very basement that I've met so many people that we all know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I met them here. I didn't meet them at the underground. I met
Right.
Corey Henry here. He came to my house to do some work.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a blessing to like build this world around what your family and everything, and watch everything just come towards you. So I've been fortunate. It's not I always say this is my testimony. It's not a doctrine. I wouldn't say do what I did and you'll get the same results.
Right.
But the thing is, seek ye first. The principle is to seek God first, and all these things will be added.
Now, with all of that, it runs me right into this next question. What is one of your most memorable success stories?
My most memorable success story. It's hard. It's really hard to say. I'm struggling because there's so many moments that were like big at the time.
Right.
I remember playing on the stage with Phil Driscoll at Madison Square Garden. And him calling me out to play on the stage with him. That was amazing to me, but it wasn't Carnegie Hall. That happened after. So it's, success is almost like one of those really nice showers that are very hot, and after a while it cools off, and you just crank it on some more, you want some more, and if you get used to it, eventually that water's it's just gonna run out of hot water. You just got to be satisfied. And I think when I look back and see like what God has done in my life, that makes me say, oh my goodness, God, this year you did this, last year you did that, the year before, you've been doing all these things consistently. And I guess that it's really reflecting on God's goodness. Like the last successful thing I can remember is surviving COVID.
Yeah, right.
I remember laying down before I did this basement over, being locked down here away from the family, and everybody ended up getting sick anyway. We didn't know what we were doing. We just
Right.
like doing the best thing we could. But remember not having the energy to play an instrument or turn anything on, too tired, too sick, just taking temperatures and Tylenol, and remembering what that was like and surviving that. Oh my goodness, because nothing could take the place of life. But so not just me surviving, but my whole family surviving. My wife, my mother-in-law lives with us, like all of us making it through. That was like amazing. A gig lasts a day.
Yeah.
COVID was like a month of sickness and then a month of recovery. That was like a joint venture with like my whole family pulling together. I think that was really like the biggest success of my 43 years of living.
Wow. Yeah. Sickness will put things in perspective. It
What's really important?
Yeah.
Who's really important?
Yep.
Like you can feel, you should feel a way about, bills and just stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? It's just like your concern is priorities, right? But when you're sick, nothing else matters. I say nothing.
Right, right.
Nothing else matters. So I'm glad that I've exchanged my worries, if you want to call it that,
Right.
for the regular stuff. And then the truth is, like, okay, well, if God brought me through that, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. Now, on that same line, and I found myself down this road too, where it's like, well, God brought me through this, and then I find myself getting a little lazy or complacent, like, okay, God, walk in, like, I don't have to do the hard work, or I don't have to do the, go for the 2 masters and now go for a doctorate program. It's just like, God, you see where I am. I'm doing what I'm doing, send the people here, What? But we still have to work. We still have to do what God has called us to do and move forward.
Yeah. I often say God manipulates me, and I don't mind. He doesn't tell me the whole story. He doesn't show me the whole plan. He shows me what I need to keep me motivated, to keep me going, to the degree where when he actually trusts me, he'll share with certain information. He'll share things that he knows it's not going to go to my head. It's not going to derail me. It's not going to make me lose motivation, because at the end of the day, like, it's his name on the line.
Right.
He's going to make sure, like, you don't put in 43 years. You know what I mean? He's going to make sure he's not embarrassed. So,
right. And that's an interesting perspective to have. That's like, well, God, if something happened to me, you're going to be embarrassed. Like,
but that's how my faith works. Yeah. Because otherwise, man, I'd be in trouble. My thing was like, okay, God, you told me to do this. You told me to do that. So you're going to have to figure out this, and you're going to have to figure out that, and I'm not going to worry about it. Because if it collapses, I'm not going to look bad. It's going to mess your perfect record up. And I know I'm not that important to mess up your record. So I know you're going to do it. However you choose to do it, I know you're going to do it.
That's a dope perspective to have. I love that. It is. It really is a dope perspective to have. Now, so let me flip this a little bit. What's one of the toughest things God has pulled you through? And I know you just talked about the COVID.
That was one of the toughest things. I think there were some. I'll say it this way: there are some things that attack your mind.
Yes.
That you have to re-evaluate life and reassess things and reappraise what's important. And I can't say specifically, but there's been moments in time where I had to say, okay, God, so what am I going to do now? What do you want me to do? Because there's certain decisions that you can make, and I hate to sound political, but it'll bleed over. It's okay. There are certain things that you could be justified in doing, right? But that doesn't mean it's the will of God. Right? So I think the toughest areas that I've had in life, or the toughest challenges, is making decisions that are justifiably, if I go left, it's justified. If I go right, it's justified. Nobody will have a problem. But the line is, God, what do you want me to do? And that's the things that nobody else knows about. Because when God is leading you another direction and you don't necessarily want to go that way.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But that you can't. Like, why would God lead you into traffic? You're looking at a ramp that's already a circle, an on-ramp, and you see the traffic, and you see the traffic on the highway. And you're saying, I could go this way. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, Waze is telling me don't go that way. It's too much traffic.
Right.
And it's like sometimes God leads you into the storm. Mm-hmm. But the difference is I'd rather go through the storm with God than go smooth sailing all by myself.
Right.
But it doesn't make those decisions easy because it's just not logical. It doesn't make sense. But that's the difference between faith and, they say hindsight is 20/20. Mm-hmm. Well, faith is when you make the hindsight decision at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So you only know later. Like,
right.
Good thing I listen to God.
Right.
It's the difference between being in traffic because there's an accident and being in the accident and causing the traffic.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. But like you said, it doesn't make, even knowing that doesn't make the decision easier when you're in it.
It doesn't. What makes it easier is just the past. You know, like, okay, here we go again, God. I'm going to do it because, we got a thing going, but
yeah,
this ain't right.
Yes, sir. And what I found out is even in the little things, when you ask him, he'll direct you like quick. And you'll understand this more than somebody that's not in music. I was making, kind of shifts in music business, in producing and things like that. And I asked God, what software should I use? And I was expecting him, I was using one, and I figured he'd either say this one or he'd say the industry standard. So it's either going to be the one I'm using or the industry standard. And he chose a whole different, he chose one that to me seemed like calculus. And I was just like, okay, that's a learning curve. I got clients coming in now. To learn that's crazy. But it was so clear that it was him. It's just like, okay, all right, fine. I'm going to use it. And then a week later, I can't use this. I'm too slow. I can't do this. It doesn't have this feature or whatever. And it was just, it's almost like I heard God or my angels like, all right, you can do whatever you want. You have choice. But that's the one I said. And it's just like, okay, all right. I'll use it. And it's just, it doesn't make it easy. Yeah.
But the cool thing is that God doesn't rob us of choice.
Yeah, right.
That's the cool thing. You'd be justifiably.
Yep.
That makes sense. And you get through some sessions easier, but you don't know what God has planned for you, and you just got to stick to whatever plan He has, knowing that our lives are unique. And He has something carved out just for us, a path just for us.
Right.
That's what I can't say I've learned it the hard way because I've pretty much lived my life like this. Whatever I just felt like doing, I just did it. And when I say felt like it, it's like, okay, I believe that the scripture says that He will give, if you delight yourself in the Lord, He'll give you the desires of your heart. Mm-hmm. I believe that scripture literally means that He will place the desires in your heart. Give you the desires that are in your heart. Once you're delighted in Him, you don't have to question your desires. Mm-hmm. So you just go with whatever, and He orders your steps.
Right.
Which means He makes them firm. It doesn't mean that, that He always tells you every step. Mm-hmm. But even when you walk by faith, if it's sand that's soft, He firms every step you take and makes it firm. And the person coming behind you will sink in the same thing. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He's ordering your steps.
Yes. Yeah. And I heard somebody else say, even if you have a moment where you start making your own, it's not what God, He'll course correct because your desire is to follow Him. And once you understand, okay, you didn't want me to go there, He'll course correct. And and your will go, okay, I'm following you this way. You know.
Yeah. And there's a lesson in that.
Yeah.
He still allowed you to do that so you could learn something.
Right. Right. Awesome. Dope. So now I gotta ask, what's next for Michael Gayle?
Oh Lord. Well, I don't know. I'm looking at what's next. You can't see it.
Okay.
But when I was 12, I was like legit a DJ, like for real.
Nice. at
My
12.
mom, my
At
mom
12.
she did not like it because because I was 12. Like she just wanted me going out, but my brother was a little older, and the barbershop crew, adults, they would hire me, and I'd have my crates of records just to play reggae. That's it. I was a reggae DJ because it's not download city like it is now. You had to buy records.
Right.
So, like, it's just a thing for me. I like DJing. I got these DDJ pioneers, and I'm having so much fun because it's like bringing me back.
I think I saw one of your Instagrams lately.
Yeah,
with you and the wife, I think. Yeah,
we just having fun. Next is fun. It's that season. Like I'm that guy who's just like, it's time for the garden. It's gardening season, and I'll be out there doing my thing. Like I like to do non-music related things per se when I can. That's So when I'm not teaching, semester's over, I'm out from school, I'll be in the garden, just learn, and the things you learn so much, not just about nature, but I mean, you got to realize that's where we come from. And when you go, your family's from where?
Queens.
Okay.
Like straight city.
Okay. When you get a chance, if you ever visit Africa. Okay. You're going to feel something because it's where you're from. I remember the first time I went to Jamaica, it was like unbelievable. I just felt like I'm returning to some place. You know what I'm saying? And every time I'm in the garden, there's something that's just calling me that feels like, and that's where we're all from. At the end of the day, we're made from dirt. And just to return to that for a season.
I gotta tell you, I don't feel that way when I'm in the garden. I just let me finish it. Let me just rake this stuff and get out.
Well, it's one of them things. It's either you love it or you don't.
I don't.
My wife does not.
Yeah, my wife loves it. She'll go out there with my son. They'll start planting things, flowers, dig it up. He likes to water it, and I'm just like, yeah, Daddy will go out because it's something he wants to do it, but nah, I'll pass.
I love it. So that's what's really next. I mean, I can never plan. I get calls, about other things musically related, but you just never know. You know how it is. You get a call today about something big, and you don't know if it's going to pan out. So you just be like, okay, let's see.
Right.
There's a lot of those things in the air. And I hope it works out because, we're musicians and we want those opportunities. But I'm cool. If God don't owe me nothing, and if I can go out in the garden and sow and reap, I'm a happy camper. And if he opens up more doors throughout the summer, I just did a Count Basie tribute. And there's some publishing company that's also possibly doing something with Natalie Cole, possibly doing some stuff, tributes to Bob Marley. They own a piece of the publishing for Toots and the Maytals, some reggae stuff. And there's always orchestrations. There's just so much.
Right.
I just take whatever. I wake up in the morning and be like, okay, what's on the agenda?
Right.
I think about it while I'm making tea for my daughters because they love when I make tea. And
okay. Nice.
One day at a time.
I hear you. That's the best way to go. So now, what's the best way people can reach you, keep in contact with you, support you?
The real Michael Gayle, because believe it or not, there's quite a bit of Michael Gayles. So I'm the real one. on Instagram, I'm the real one. That's the best way to reach me because you know how we are. Like the phones stay there.
Yeah.
They're right next to us at all times. And I have a website as well, michaelsgayle.com.
Okay.
And but my Instagram is the best way to reach me, and just staying in touch with what's going on next. That's where you really find out like what's really going on.
Right.
next.
Right. All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. Any final thoughts, words of advice you want to share with listeners?
Well, I just want to say thanks for having me on. I'm glad I made the cut. I was wondering. I said, boy. One day I looked at something you were doing with a friend of mine, Reverend Eddie.
Yes.
Joy. I'm like, it's Reverend Eddie, Timothy Anderson. I know all these people. They know me. I'm the only one missing. What is going on?
Nah, we had to get into a groove first before we invite the big dogs.
They had to blaze the trail.
Yes.
So I'm just glad to be here, and it's just good vibes, good energy, and I just want to encourage people to, if I could just encourage people to keep believing God. If you haven't started, if you doubted, like just wipe the slate clean and trust God blindly, like He's already done it, because that's the only way. Like, look at what your disappointments could have been. They're just lessons. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Something for you to learn to get you to the next level. So just believe God, and He will do everything that He promised.
That's what's up. Facts. Couldn't have said it better myself, man. I thank you, man, for taking the time out. I'm glad I caught you right when classes were over.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's cool. I thank everybody else for everybody that's tuning in, listening, or if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you. Connect with Michael Gayle. I'll put all the links, the website and the Instagram. I'll just put the link so you click here. It's right in the description.
A YouTube channel too, The Real Michael Gayle as well.
Oh, nice.
I had my wife tell me, don't forget the YouTube.
No problem. Yes. So I'll put that link there as well. If you're enjoying the Words for Life podcast, again, I'm going to ask you to like it, subscribe. Also, if you're blessed by this and you want to continue with a positive organization, BeMoreToday.com. Check that out. I co-founded that company with Dr. Sean Thomas. It's BeMoreToday.com. We've got positive apparel. We've got workouts on our YouTube channel. You'll see the Words for Life page there also. So check that out as well. We're going to end off with a Words for Life track. I always like to end off with one of the Words for Life tracks that I produce. So that'll be there. And our hope is that we've inspired you in some way to make the rest of your life the best part of your life. And with that, we're out.
When God makes something, He assumes personal responsibility for sustaining that thing. Now, we read in Genesis chapter 1, verse 3, and God said, let there be light, and there was light. Now, theologians have an expression called Exnihilo, which means what? Out of nothing. God created out of nothing. Hebrews 11 verse 3 says, through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. Meaning, when God created, He made His own raw materials. There's a story of a man who was challenging God. He said, I'm as much God as you are. God said, fine. How do you want to prove that? The man said, let's create something. You think you're creator? I can create. We'll create. God said, you first. So the man bent down and scooped up some dirt, about to create something. God said, get your own dirt. Get your own dirt. I made it. That's my raw material. I made it. You get your own dirt. You create something out of nothing. That's how God creates. Now, how does God save? Romans 7 verse 18, Paul says, for I know that in me, that is in my what? Flesh dwelleth no good thing, says Paul. I know, says Paul, here's the issue of knowledge. We ought to know that of ourselves there is nothing good in us. And so when a man or a woman is saved, the man or the woman comes to God and says to Him, Father, there is nothing in me I can give to you as raw materials from which you can work. you have to create out of nothing. And so David prayed, create in me a clean heart, because his heart had nothing in it that God can use as startup material. Are you listening to me? God creates ex nihilo out of nothing. He saves ex nihilo out of nothing, because a person needing salvation is dead, which means out of death, God brings life. Now, whether by creation or salvation, I repeat, when God creates something, he takes care of it. Now, when a man or a woman gives him or herself to God, God undertakes the responsibility for every aspect and facet and department of that person's life. God takes care of all that is his. Matthew 6:24. No man can serve two masters. No man, no woman can serve two masters. God is not part of a ménage à trois. Let me anglicize that. God does not participate in a threesome. It is you and God, or leave God. You cannot invite another master into your relationship with God. And so before Jesus says, I'll take care of you, before Jesus says, don't worry about what you'll eat and what you'll drink and what you'll wear and where you live and where you'll work, Jesus says, first, make sure in your mind that you are serving me. Because if you're not, I am not responsible for you. If your father were the president of the United States, you wouldn't worry. You wouldn't worry. You can go anywhere. You get whatever you want. Or if your father were Bill Gates, you wouldn't worry about school fees. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't worry about new shoes, holes in your socks. All that fear would vanish. There are students in schools who worry about tuition for the next semester, and they can't study. It affects their grades, and people think they're moronic. No, they're not morons. They are worrying about tuition. Your father's a millionaire. You don't worry. That fear is gone. What I'm saying is God can meet all your needs. That's why Jesus said to those who are 100% his, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat, or what you shall drink, nor yet for your body what you shall put on. Matthew 6:25. Don't worry, Jesus says. Don't panic. You hear somewhere down the line that you're about to get a pink slip, Jesus says, don't worry. You're my child. I'll take care of you. So when God calls you to obey him, understand that the call is coming from someone who will take care of you and will handle the consequences of your decision to obey him. Because he becomes responsible for the consequences. All the angels, all the resources in the universe, all the power in heaven and earth is at your disposal from God, because God will go to any length to take care of those that are his.